Welcome to the National Pulse. I'm Raheem Kassam, editor-in-chief of thenationalpulse.com. At last week's Democratic National Convention, the former Vice President Joe Biden talked about darkness and the period of darkness America is currently in. Let's remind ourselves.
This is a great nation. We're a good and decent people. For Lord's sake, this is the United States of America. And there's never been anything we've been able to accomplish when we've done it together. The Irish poet Seamus Heaney once wrote, "History says, don't hope on this side of the grave, but then, once in a lifetime, the longed-for tidal wave of justice can rise up and hope and history rhyme." This is our moment to make hope and history rhyme. With passion and purpose, let us begin, you and I together, one nation, under God, united in our love for America, united in our love for each other. For love is more powerful than hate, hope is more powerful than fear, and light is more powerful than dark. This is our moment, this is our mission. May history be able to say that the end of this chapter of American darkness began here tonight, as love and hope and light join in the battle for the soul of the nation. And this is a battle we will win, and we'll do it together. I promise you. Thank you, and may God bless you, and may God protect our troops. Good night.
A word salad, as ever. Joe Biden is barely coherent nowadays, rambling on about Irish poets and struggling to read from his teleprompter. But if there's one thing that stood out during his speech, it's that idea of the darkness. The darkness. Joe Biden seeks to lump the darkness at Donald Trump's door. But let's have a look at where the darkness really comes from in scenes from last night that should shock and disturb anyone watching. Let's show you what CNN won't. Scenes from near the White House during and after President Trump's speech last night. And it wasn't just ordinary people being accosted, not just police who were being attacked. The mob went after a sitting senator of the United States, one of the highest ranking democratically elected officials in this country, Senator Rand Paul. Let's look at that.
What's up, bro? I got you.
Not just cowardly and pathetic to attack a man who's already been the victim of violence from the left late at night as he tries to get his wife safely home. Say her name, they screamed at him. They're talking about Breonna Taylor, a woman who was killed as the result of a no-knock warrant. The events which transpired on the 5th of March are hotly disputed, even in the words of the New York Times. But Senator Rand Paul was the sponsor of the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act. He literally wrote the legislation in June and has spoken to Taylor's family about his quest to end no-knock warrants in the United States. What have those screeching protesters done? What have they achieved? What real world instead of fantasy land shrieking actions have they taken? The mob isn't just angry, violent, and reprehensible. They're also dumb, like really dumb. Imagine attacking the senator who drafted the legislation directly related to your cause, morons. These scenes were not the only ones to shock last night. Most of the media and their Democratic Party friends were shocked by the scale of the Trump speech on the White House lawn and the ensuing fireworks. It was immense. And Donald Trump, President Trump, directly addressed Joe Biden's BS claims about the darkness America finds itself in.
Because we understand that America is not a land cloaked in darkness. America is the torch that enlightens the entire world. Gathered here at our beautiful and majestic White House, known all over the world as the People's House, we cannot help but marvel at the miracle that is our great American story. This has been the home of larger-than-life figures like Teddy Roosevelt and Andrew Jackson, who rallied Americans to bold visions of a bigger and brighter future. Within these walls lived tenacious generals like President Grant and Eisenhower, who led our soldiers in the cause of freedom. From these grounds, Thomas Jefferson sent Lewis and Clark on a daring expedition to cross a wild and uncharted continent. In the depths of a bloody civil war, President Abraham Lincoln looked out these very windows upon a half-completed Washington Monument and asked God, in his providence, to save our nation. 2 weeks after Pearl Harbor, Franklin Delano Roosevelt welcomed Winston Churchill, and just inside, they set our people on a course to victory in the Second World War.
Incredible scenes last night. And when we come back from the break, we're going to contrast the end of both conventions. Compare and contrast the DNC and the RNC. And we'll talk about what the media is trying to tell us about the viewership numbers, and I'll explain all of that. Natalie Winters will join me here in studio at the National Pulse. I'm Raheem Kassam. This is the National Pulse, and we'll be right back.